Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast, shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
You're tuned in to Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast with the Heartbreak Dude Denton and Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. And this is a special Monday edition of Two Dudes with Attitudes because we are going to review the Elimination Chamber. And I got to say, predictable, but great. What'd you think? And did you watch it at 5 a.m.?
I got up at 5 a.m. and watched it until the Grayson Waller effect. And then my children got up. So I had to pause it and waited for them to get to a spot where, you know, they were content, they were calm, they were eating breakfast. And then I resumed it from the Grayson Waller effect and finished it there. So what was like 3 or 4 hours took me about 5.5, maybe 6 hours to finish. But just because I had that long break in between.
Well, if you don't count the preview and the first match of the Kabuki Warriors defending their titles, it was 3 hours and 20 minutes, which is 20 minutes too long. I'm tired of pay-per-views going longer than 3 hours. 3 hours is the max. Stop giving me 20 extra minutes. 3 hours. You can do it, WWE.
Yeah, they've done it before. Like Fastlane was like 2.5 hours. You know, other pay-per-views have been really short. So yeah, and this was only 4 matches on the card, so they had no reason to be so long.
No, it's ridiculous. And NXT can knock it down in 2 hours and 50 minutes every single PLE. Why can't WWE? It blows my mind. But are you ready? I watched it. Mine was 2 a.m. I got to about 11:30 at night, and I was watching a movie or something, and I was like, I had my kids. I'm like, I'm not gonna do 2 to 5, try to go back to sleep. Then they're going to wake me up. So I went to bed about 11:30, 11:45, woke up at about 6 my time. So probably right when it was over, I woke up at 6 and then watched it, and I was done with it by about 9 o'clock because I forward through most walkouts, except for like Cody's or other people's because I want to hear reactions. But mostly, you know, and all the pointless behind, you know, what took place, but why'd we get here? Like I already know, bro. So I skipped through all those. So I got done at about 9 o'clock. Yeah. So let's dive into it. You ready? We'll go through each card and we'll talk about what we like and didn't like. So number 1, the Elimination Chamber match for the women. You know who was in it. You know who won. That was Becky Lynch. What'd you think?
I think the right person won. I know that I picked Liv Morgan to win when we did our predictions last week, but I think the right person won. But apparently it didn't come without any controversy because the internet is ablaze right now that there's a whole new movement. You know, move over, hashtag we want Cody. Hashtag we want Liv is trending, I guess, with like 7,000 people worldwide demanding that Liv Morgan gets into the WrestleMania main event against Rhea Ripley. And it's funny too, is some of these people that were pro hashtag we want Cody are anti hashtag we want Liv. And some of their arguments don't make any sense. Well, Liv and Rhea doesn't need to happen at WrestleMania. Neither did Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Or why don't we just let things play out and just see what happens? Because, you know, Triple H has been known to be a good booker and he knows what he's doing. Okay, but you guys crapped on Rock coming in less than 24 hours after Cody Rhodes stepped aside. So, you know, their whole narrative just doesn't make any sense. But, you know, I think this match, the thing for me that stood out the most was the Tiffany Stratton coming out party because she looked like a star. She looked phenomenal in this match. The crowd was behind her. She looked like $1 million in this match. And I think she's got a bright future ahead of her. This was a hell of a way for her to debut. Or not really debut. She's been in matches, but this was a huge, like her first PLE in a match outside of the Royal Rumble, her first PLE in like as a singles competitor. And this was the Tiffany Stratton coming out party. She is a star in the making. And so
Yeah.
I can't wait to see where she goes from here.
There's a lot to dissect with this match, right? I mean, it had all sorts of moments. Everybody had their time to shine. Speaking of that, we want Cody, we want Liv thing. I'm not even going to go into it. I'm just learning more and more every single day. The fans are fickle. They're 100% one-sided. I'm glad I'm not that person. I love Dirty Dom to death. I was upset he wasn't in the chamber, but I didn't bitch and moan about it.
Hashtag we want Dom. Yeah.
Right? That's what we should have done. But these fans are just insane. And the fact that it's always about them and not about anybody else. Like when it's hurt my feelings, the movement makes sense. When it doesn't hurt my feelings, the movement doesn't make sense. I'm going to end it there. I posted a TikTok. If you want to see it and chime in, you can hit me up there. But Tiffany Stratton did have her moment. And we've learned that in Elimination Chambers. Otherwise, except for this year's men's one for some reason, which we'll get into. But usually it's a bunch of name stars, a newcomer. The newcomer gets their moment to shine, and they usually shine. This was Tiffany Stratton's time. I wasn't surprised by it. I knew she was going to. I knew she would get big moments. The thing is that sometimes they either live to the moment or they don't, and she definitely lived up to the moment. Everything was. I liked Naomi in here. She did like 3 different split moves where she pinned 2 people at once. Awesome. I'm not a big Bianca Belair fan, but she had some moments in here too, and Raquel Rodrigues did. I'm not the biggest Raquel. I mean, I honestly only like a few women in this match, but everybody shined. Everyone did their damn thing. Proud of all of them. The right person 100% won. I want Liv to fight for the title, and I still think, like I said before, when we did our predictions, that Liv will be the one who dethrones Rhea. But hashtag we want Liv people, calm down. Just like the Cody people. It'll happen. Wait for it. Everything is timing. Wait for it.
Yeah.
So I didn't like one thing though, really quick before you go. The only thing I didn't like was the ending. I hate when we don't need like a 2-hour build with the last 2, just like in Rumbles, you don't. But man, the women's Rumble, it feels like they're just like bing, bang, boo, it's done. Like you didn't even get a chance to like realize, Bianca got eliminated, and then just like it was just like, and the Liv roll up was like rushed too. It looked like she didn't even roll her up properly. She got the pin, and then it was just like, oh, now you lose. It was just too fast. Yeah, you should have had. You knew the fans were wondering it was either them. So as soon as she rolled up, Bianca, have these 2 girls stare at each other, let the crowd live it up, and then end it in like 2 minutes. But at least have that moment of what's going to happen. Let Liv have a near fall, and then let Becky get the win. You know what I mean? That's like easy storytelling. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's that route.
That's been something that's been hurting the WWE in the Rumble with the women and the women's Elimination Chamber. We had a lack of a lack of final 2 in the women's Rumble, because they had the final 3, and then 2 of them got eliminated, and boom, that's how Bailey got the win. So we didn't really, or it was like a lack of final 4, and then like all of a sudden something like that happened. But then same thing in this match. I mean, it was just, you had the final 2, but then it was over like that. It just ended. And yeah, that was a huge missed opportunity. You could have had Liv and Becky stare at each other a little bit, soak in the crowd, get the cheers, get the boos, get the pop, because that crowd was vocal, and that crowd was loud.
Mm-hmm.
They were a good crowd. And as we knew they would be, because anytime they go overseas, those crowds always bring it. And so I feel like it was a missed opportunity to not have the crowd kind of, soak in, give that energy of the final 2. It was just, okay, Bianca's eliminated, and now all of a sudden Liv's eliminated, and Becky Lynch wins. 1, 2, 3, yay. And that's how the match ended. It was just, that was kind of a letdown. But everything else about it, I thought was great.
You would also thought Tiffany Stratton was Australian.
Yeah.
Homegirl got the biggest pop of the night out of anybody. Better than Cody. They booed when she lost. Like, holy guacamole, Australia.
Yeah.
They love them some Tiffy Stratton. So
yeah, Tiffy time is here to stay for sure.
And once again, best match of the night. Outdid the men. Once again, women, bravo. Good for you all. All right.
Absolutely.
Tag team title time. Once again, this whole card was predictable. Like I said, I got it all perfectly, but predictability does not mean bad. This was a perfect example of that. In my opinion, JD and New Catch, they brought the house down. I thought this match was awesome. I like the near falls. Even though you didn't think that Dunn and Bate were going to win, there was moments where you thought, well, maybe, right? Maybe it's going to happen. Just you kind of have that in your thought. Like, we need a surprise. Liv didn't win. We need a surprise. But they went with the predictability, but it was perfect. Awesome setup. I'm excited to see them lose their belts to, Miz
awesome
and
Truth
at Mania. Yeah. What'd you think?
I was actually, when I first watched it, and again, it was 5:00 in the morning or so, my time. So I was a little out of it. So I was just like, if there's ever an opportunity for R-Truth to interfere, it's here.
Mhm.
Where is he? And then I went and looked up where R-Truth was, and he was in Austria. And he even posted a video.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. He posted a video. It was like, hey, I just landed in Austria. Where is everybody? You know, there's the arena's empty. The nobody here. He's like, should I just go home? So, I mean, R-Truth is freaking hysterical. It was funny.
Mhm.
You know, he went to the wrong. I'm sure that'll be play into the story when we get to Monday Night Raw and going forward with him and Awesome Truth reuniting. But I want to say that the star of this match was not the in-ring competitor. It was Dirty Dom, being the
Yes, sir. Thank
you know,
you. I was letting you talk about
yeah,
it.
at ringside, because I wanted Dirty Dom in the chamber, and we both talked about this last week. But I knew that this crowd was going to give him heat. I knew the heat was going to be electric. And there was one part during the match, like right at the very kind of, I don't remember when it was, maybe the
Right when he was
middle.
getting walked out.
Yeah,
Talking about the blackout?
yeah, it cut to black for a little bit because they were flipping him off and they were yelling and they were
And
chanting
chanting.
obscenities.
Yep.
That Peacock had to, they had to cut the broadcast for a little bit. And that's how much of a heat magnet Dirty Dom is. And that's why I think it was a missed opportunity not having him in the ring for the men's chamber. But he was the star of this match, and he wasn't even in the ring. I mean, he was soaking it in. He was doing a great job absorbing the booze and taking it. Everything about Dirty Dom in this was great. Judgment Day winning was the right decision. There was no build for New Catch Republic because they've been feuding with Judgment Day's been feuding with DIY over the last few months. And so I had a feeling they weren't going to win, but I am glad that Pete Dunne is back and he's no longer Butch. And I think those guys have a bright future. And I do think eventually they need to split the tag team titles and have a SmackDown set and a Raw set and let these guys, New Catch Republic, have the SmackDown tag team titles. But right now we stand at undisputed tag, and I think Judgment Day winning was the right decision.
Yeah, and it just shows how much heat Dirty Dom gets because he's not even being pushed correctly anymore. At least at the start, he was mommy's little, errand boy. He won a title. He was letting mommy cheat for him. That gets heat. Now he's just getting heat just because he is that guy.
By being
People,
there, yeah.
Imagine, push this dude, Triple H, after the Mania season, go back to pushing him. Him dethroning Gunther makes sense. Him beating, winning the U.S. title makes sense. Him anything in that realm of him having a reign, secondary title is genius. He needs to do it. They need to get the ball moving with him because they have the biggest heel possibly ever if they utilize him correctly for the next few years. I mean, I'm not talking now. I'm talking about moving forward. It's ridiculous. And I'm so sick of people with the piped in. And I'm glad people from Australia were posting live videos of their feed saying this is not piped in. This dude is getting heat. I also saw a few videos of the Cody Rhodes chants not being that loud. And people were saying it wasn't weird, right? It's weird when those 20,000 fans, we want Cody. And they're so the majority of the people. I mean, once again, we'll get into that, but I liked it. Good match. Let's go on to this Grayson Waller effect. And Grayson Waller, man, babyface now? That was insane. And the way he watched Theory get his butt kicked, babyface now? I don't know. What'd you think of the Waller effect?
That was confusing because is Grayson Waller the babyface? Or is Austin Theory going to be babyface and Grayson Waller is going to be heel? Are they going to feud with each other now? That was the ending of that whole thing was really confusing because he snatched the microphone out of Grayson Waller's hand and Grayson Waller looked really confused by it. And then Grayson Waller just stood to the side while Austin Theory took a beat down from Cody and Seth. So I don't know what seeds are being planted there, but this segment for me, we talked about it offline, but it was, like you said, it was just a way to get Cody and Seth on the show in front of the Australia crowd because I feel like this segment really didn't do much. It teased a potential Cody Rhodes versus The Rock match, which I think we all want to see. And if we're going to have heel Rock, it makes sense for him to slap Cody Rhodes at the press event. It makes sense for Cody Rhodes to face The Rock at some point, and maybe it's going to be night one of WrestleMania. And then the other thing too is it also he kept alluding to, why did I step aside for The Rock to take my spot at WrestleMania? Let's get into the why. And then Grayson Waller would cut him off, or Austin Theory would cut him off. So they're still playing that whole thing, and that makes me think that this was a story from the beginning. If they have a whole reason why,
weird,
behind it kind of starting to confirm some things that this was a story from the very beginning and this was the plan all along. So that's really the two takeaways for me. I thought it was a decent segment, but I kept hoping we were going to see The Rock make an appearance. I kept hoping we would see Roman or maybe even Paul Heyman come out, because there was a segment where they showed Paul Heyman and Roman talking backstage, and he sent the wise man to Australia, and he was like, go tell the people in Australia to acknowledge me. But yet he wasn't even on the show. So I was hoping we would see some sort of interaction between Paul Heyman and the Grayson Waller effect with Cody and Seth. But maybe there's Raw, there's SmackDown still to come. So we'll just got to be patient.
What was the point of Roman on SmackDown talking to Grayson Waller?
Yeah, I don't know. Because was it just to get Australia to acknowledge him? Because he asked Australia to acknowledge the tribal chief.
Is that why? Because that's a waste of everybody's time. I don't know. This thing was stupid. The only thing I got out of this was that Cody and Seth needed to be seen. They got to do each other's songs. And just so you know, Seth gets sung just as loud as Cody. So once again, Cody fanboys.
Yeah, he's not as over as you think.
Stop thinking because he gets cheered, he's that we need to put him on the Wheaties box. Like, they all get cheered. But it was to promote him and Rock. That was all it really was. This segment, I don't even need to waste my breath on. It was stupid, pointless. Could have been done on a tweet. Could have just been said backstage segment. It could have been done on SmackDown or Raw. So I'm over it. Let's move on to the meat. You ready? And when I say meat, I mean the men in the Elimination Chamber. Once again, right man won, but we had a surprise. We had a couple surprises. We had a couple, and I see people on here, these creators writing about how can the WWE tell us they're going to go one way and then now they're going this way? For one, the WWE never once alluded, didn't even hint at the fact LA Knight was going to wrestle Logan Paul. It was never even mentioned. So the fact that people are like, oh, how'd they go this way? This is ridiculous. Y'all, shut up. Stop listening to creators, Sean Ross Sapp, Dave until the WWE says it, it's not real. Just like WWE never said Seth versus Cody. So stop. If the WWE doesn't say it, it's not happening. So no, nothing. I liked it all. I actually think Drew winning makes sense, obviously, the end. And sometimes injuries work in people's favors. And this is a prime example of Drew was always that guy. But ever since CM Punk got hurt, he is this new persona that is just killing it. The shirt, the vibe. Holy cow, is this dude a star now? I see him possibly winning at Mini. I still see a Damian Priest cash in. We can talk about that in a future time. But I liked everything in here. I like Logan Paul, punching straight, Cole clocking, Randy Orton. I mean, you talk about Logan Paul and Randy Orton needing a moment at Mania. It ain't going to get bigger than that. Logan Paul and Randy Orton's going to be fire. And AJ coming in and putting in waste to LA Knight. LA Knight is cold right now. He has no direction. Winning a title probably would have been great, but how much better to get somebody over and get them going to start the second season after Mania than by beating one of the greatest of all time in AJ Styles at WrestleMania? That's a huge moment. It gives AJ something to do, a high-profile match, and it gives LA Knight a big win before maybe then winning a secondary title. Pure genius. Bravo, Triple H. This Elimination Chamber was done perfectly. And I know Kevin Owens is left out. I get that. But once again, doesn't mean you can't add Kevin Owens and make it a triple threat and so on. But and I think Kevin's going to go with Sammy. So
that's what I was going to say. There's Sami Zayn is promised that he's going to be a champion at WrestleMania, but he's also on a losing streak. So maybe him and KO reunite somehow. But I like this match. I thought this match was the right person won. Drew McIntyre deserves it, and I think he should walk out of WrestleMania with the title. I think that he has put in the work and he's just been killing it lately. The thing I like about this whole event was, yes, it was predictable, but it was still unpredictable because nobody saw. Everybody thought it was going to be Logan Paul versus LA Knight at WrestleMania for the U.S. Championship, and LA Knight's going to have a mid-card title reign. He needs one to really, revitalize his push and get him back into the. And get him going again. And then a lot of people thought it was going to be some version of the Bloodline versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania, maybe Solo versus Randy Orton. So the fact that they're giving us AJ, they went a completely unpredictable route with AJ Styles versus LA Knight, and then Logan Paul versus potentially Randy Orton. It's good stuff, man. And those matches are going to be off the chains. I mean, Logan Paul is going to get people talking. Randy Orton winning the United States Championship, I don't think that's a title he's ever won before. So he could be a Grand Slam. Yeah, it's money. If Randy Orton puts him over, that's even huge. And it's going to be a match that's talked about. And then, of course, AJ Styles and LA Knight. I'm not as amped about this one, but I think the match makes sense on paper. There's a story there that's been being told since September or October when LA Knight started getting his little push, and AJ Styles got he got that injury and he had to be written off. So yeah, I think it makes sense. But yeah, the thing I liked about this was, despite it being a predictable outcome, there were so many unpredictable twists and turns that we didn't see coming.
Talk about heat, man. AJ Styles straight flew to Australia just to cost him the match. That's something. But let's, before we move on to the main event, let's talk about the real elephant in the room here. This WrestleMania would be the first time in 3 years that Kevin Owens is not main event. So I don't hear anybody complaining about that. We want Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
we want Kevin.
Finish his
he
story.
needs to finish his story. He's main evented the last 2 WrestleManias.
Yeah, he's 1-1. He needs to get that third win, that second win to go 2-1. Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
man.
Get out of my face with
and
that. All right,
he still could. He still could main event. So
I guess he could. I don't think so. I think one of the women's matches is going to main event night 1. But all right, or Rock versus Roman if that's the thing. All right, let's get into it, man. Last one, the main event, the star of the show, Rhea Ripley, obviously deservingly in Australia. Nia Jax cutting the great promo in the press conference about how she's from Australia, but thank God her family moved her out of that place. All good stuff. Once again, everyone crapped on Nia Jax, right? They all said they hated her, didn't want her back. The girl has shown out, has built a name over herself. This match, I don't care what anybody says. I enjoyed every second of it. I like that they built the heat of her destroying her the whole time and then just not getting the win at the end. Rhea having to do what she had to do to get that victory. Bravo. Rhea versus Becky is going to be maybe the biggest women's match of all time. So all you people mad about it, stop. It's going to be probably the biggest women's match ever.
Yeah. Oh, but we're not going to see a penny of that money. And so we shouldn't care about the big money matches at WrestleMania. It should be the matches that the fans want. But anyway, this match was great. This was, we talked about in the women's chamber, the Tiffany Stratton coming out party. This was the Nia Jax coming out party. Nia Jax was phenomenal in this match. And if she doesn't get a high profile WrestleMania match after this, then I don't know what the heck is. Like, I'll question Triple H for the rest of his existence as Booker of WWE, because she deserves it. She put in the work. She's gotten so much better in the ring. She's better in promos. She is doing fantastic stuff. And of course, Rhea Ripley got the win as we all expected, but it didn't come easy. And, I think this was her biggest test that she's had. And yeah, I am excited about Rhea and Becky. And, the thing about that is, unlike, and this was my problem with the Grayson Waller effect too, yet again, Seth Rollins did not acknowledge any of the Elimination Chamber participants. But Becky Lynch.
Why was he even there?
Yeah, I know. He put his hand on Cody and said, no, I'll help you fight the blood. I'm medically cleared in a couple of weeks, so I'll help you. Like, come on. But at least Becky and Rhea have had interactions with each other. They, Nia Jax destroyed all of the participants in the Elimination Chamber match just this past week on Raw. So there's a story there, and I think Rhea deserves it, and I'm excited for Rhea and Becky. I really do. I think it's going to be. It was a good way to end the show, and it was the right call having this match close the show.
Yeah, and once again, I know I've gotten people in my comments telling me I hate Seth Rollins, which is literally the dumbest thing ever. I have multiple Seth Rollins shirts, and I've supported him forever. But nonetheless, he's not being utilized right now. The fact that he was at a PLE where people were fighting right after this to see who fights him, and he mentioned it briefly and didn't seem to give 2 cares. He was more excited about Cody's.
You can't do a stare down between Seth and Drew or something like afterwards. You can't have Seth come out and hold his belt up, or staring down Drew or something. Yeah,
it's not building at all.
No, but yeah, the women have been done perfectly. The men, there was some head scratchers there.
Yeah, and one last thing too with that main. It looks like obviously everybody wanted Bianca and Jade because you were talking about Nia needs a big moment at Mania. Looks like they're going Bianca Trish now, or Trish, Tiffany Stratton. So I'm thinking who eliminated Nia Jax from the Royal Rumble?
Jade. Yeah.
I'm thinking Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax, and that is freaking money. And that's really, I mean, you think if we go Bailey, Io, that needs a headline night one. We got Rhea Becky.
Yeah.
We got Bianca and Tiffany Stratton. We got Nia and Jade Cargill. I mean, just alone, and we're gonna have more. Kabuki Warriors will probably defend. We got other, but man, women's wrestling, man, bravo! It's finally getting to where it needs to be, especially in the WWE.
Yeah, kudos to them. And yeah, this could be the one of the biggest WrestleManias with the most amount of women's matches. Usually, there's like 2 women's matches. It's or 3. They have like a tag team showcase last year, and then the 2 title matches. But this year, they could have 4, maybe 5, maybe even 6 matches. Just singles matches alone. So yeah, kudos to the women. I think they're killing it right now, and this is the most exciting time of the year. It's WrestleMania season, and the build for it should be good. Should be good. Rock's going to be on SmackDown he's going to be on 3 straight SmackDowns starting this Friday. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a good time.
Well, let's go. All right, that's the Elimination Chamber review. Let us know in the comments what you think. I saw a lot of people saying it was like a 5 out of 10. Y'all are crazy. I easily give this a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a phenomenal night. Well done.
Yeah, I give it a 9 out of 10 as well. I thought it was a good, solid event. One thing that I noticed too, and I don't know if this was by design, but they had the Elimination Chamber press event before the show, but they didn't do a post-match press conference or a post-show. And I wonder if it's because they didn't want to answer any questions about Vince McMahon. They didn't want to, because Triple H took a lot of heat at the Royal Rumble press event for not answering questions. So I don't know. Maybe that was by design. Maybe TKO was like, you know what, let's not. Or they didn't want to answer any questions about The Rock coming in and quote unquote taking Cody's spot. Was there any truth to that? You know, in having some negativity surround this event. So who knows? But that was something that I kept looking for it after the show went off the air. I was like, okay, I'm going to wait for the press conference. I'm going to wait for the press, and then never came.
I'm over that too about the whole Vince thing. It's a civil lawsuit, y'all. You can't say diddly squat.
Yeah, you can't comment.
Literally you cannot. So I don't understand what people are expecting. And it's his damn father-in-law, the grandfather of his children. Even if he wants to crap on him, you think he's going to crap on him to you guys, to idiots, because you guys want it? Stop, fans. Fans and media, stop. Y'all are stupid. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, though. We appreciate
we appreciate it.
All the real fans. We want the cool, normal fans. And actually, everybody, we want y'all. We love y'all. Even you fickle fans. You fickle fans. We love you, too. But as always, man, keep tuning in. We will be back normal Thursday for our WWE edition. I'm assuming we'll still cover SmackDown. Maybe not. If not, we'll do Raw and NXT for sure. And then AEW on Friday. And I already started AEW, dude. I'm already on Rampage and Collision. I've already done it. Head of the game, baby. I am caught up as of this moment. But yeah, I'm ready to go. Woo. WrestleMania season gets me jacked, man. But as always, you can tune in if you want to hear my dumb voice or see my beautiful face at HBD Denton on all social medias that you follow or look or watch into. We always appreciate you guys tuning in. Keep tuning in. Keep subscribing. Keep telling your friends about us. We love it. We're just an honest podcast, just doing our best and giving our opinions. So with me as always. Yep. And who's the man with me? Say it.
It's Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. Go follow us on TikTok at 2 Dudes with Attitudes. Go follow us on X at 2 Dudes PC. Go follow me on all your social media platforms. And if you like more videos like this, remember to subscribe here on the YouTube. Hit that, ring the bell for notification. Anytime we post new videos, you'll get content, you'll get an alert, and it'll, you can check us out and leave us some comments below. And then if you're listening to us on audio, Spotify, Apple, whatever you get your podcast, we appreciate the love and support, and drop a 5-star rating and review. Help us crack these codes of all the algorithms out there. And, I say it every week, but I'm going to say it again. 2024 is going to be the year of the dudes, and we're making big strides so far this year.
That is correct. Yes, sir. So let's go. 2 Dudes with Attitudes, Wolfpack. We out. Thanks for tuning in. See you Thursday.
2 dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the 2 dudes and the attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'. Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's a two